What's going on, guys? Chaos here, bringing you another video, and today I've got something a little bit different, because something that I have noticed over the interwebs is that there isn't actually any videos for an AR anchor. Now, in competitive, you usually have a standard of 4 roles. Your 4 roles are your SMG Slayer, your AR Slayer / support, you've got your objective, and then you've got your AR anchor. There's been no videos on the objective, there's been a lot of videos on support and a lot of videos on an SMG, but I've never found an AR anchor. And I think that's something I'm gonna probably start up, which is gonna be anchor spots. Now, I'm gonna bring you a best class setup, my specialist and my sensitivity, because of course I am the anchor for Versity Esports. I believe I'm on the second team. I believe I am the anchor for that team, and the gameplay you're seeing is Fringe Hardpoint. It was a script, and it kind of shows off exactly what the anchor needs to be doing. But like I said, I'm going to be bringing you a full class setup. So I'm going to be breaking down each bit of the class, showing you what really needs to be used, how to use it, and then later on I'm going to be bringing you anchor spots. So where you guys need to sit if you're an anchor, if you want to sit in these particular areas, if you want to use these spots, then I highly recommend that you do so, because I pretty much know most, and I think I know all of them actually, all of the anchor spots. And if the spawns are in such a way that they vary depending on the players, like depending on your subs, your ARs, you know, which player is actually best at which and how to break the hill. But obviously we have to start with our core. The core is of course your weapon. Now the first thing that you want to do is to get yourself an M8A1. Your M8A1 is going to be the source of everything. The M8 is a very powerful weapon. It's gonna get you far. It's very powerful with 4-round bursts. It kills quick, but the problem is that their iron sights aren't that good. Perhaps aggressively you could put elo sight, but me personally, I much prefer to use this. I prefer to use the reflex sight. I find it's a lot easier to use over the elo sight or the iron sights. I just find that the red dot is a little more accurate, and I've gotten used to the reflex a hell of a lot more. It's not very powerful, it's very accurate and allows me to keep an eye on targets. However, in Search and Destroy, I'm playing a little bit more defensive, so I'll use this. I'll use the BO83 sight. It basically illuminates the targets when they're red. Now, something that was asked me earlier on a stream was, why don't you use the elo sight? It's so much better. Now, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the elo sight because it's very aggressively made. I believe that it's not. For the reflex sight specifically, I like to use like the square perimeter of it, and I like to use that to try and use the target as well as the red dot in the middle. I kind of like to use that instead of the elo sight, because I find I'm a little less accurate with the elo sight and I just seem to struggle with it. But of course, what I better have than attachments. So the first attachment we are going to have here is going to be high caliber. I find some players don't use high caliber. I personally love high caliber. If you don't know what it does, it basically increases the damage you do on headshots. And if you're on host or you're on a LAN connection, if you shoot someone in the head with the M8, it's 3 bullets to kill. That's not even a full burst. So if you can land all 3 shots on the head, it's going to be really powerful. Some players would rather use what's it? I can't remember the name of it, but I'll have long barrel later on in the video. I'll explain why I have that. What's it called? I believe some people have rapid fire on it instead of high caliber because they much prefer that faster round burst. I don't. I prefer the high caliber. But one of the most key attachments on pretty much any gun, if anything, I recommend this attachment on all your guns, and that is of course the quick draw. The quick draw is of course the tool of absolute domination. If you want to play well, quick draw is your absolute necessity. What it does is it allows you to increase, it speeds up your aim basically. It allows you to zoom in down your sights a lot quicker. And if you've got like an optical sight, you know, you definitely need that extra, you know, that time to accurately place your shots, especially with high caliber. Try to lay those headshots. Quick draw is, like I said, is an essential on any weapon in my opinion. If you don't use it, then you're really slow. I can't seem to use it without it. I can't seem to not use it. But then, like I said earlier in the video, I have long barrel. The thing with AR Anchor is that you're going to be doing a lot of long range gunfights. Your long range gunfights are going to be exactly what you are going to be doing. Long barrel increases the range, allows you to shoot for further distance across map. I think it's like 6 shots to kill, which is very much. With the long barrel, I believe it drops to 5 or maybe even 4 on a good connection. If you're aggressive with AR, don't use long barrel. It's not going to help you in any way. I use it personally for being the long range person. Now, in the Anchor, you're going to be flooded a lot of times. That's why I use 2 trophy systems. Your 2 trophy systems will protect you from grenades, it will protect you from stuns, EMPs, concussions. They're not very good against rockets, unlike in Black Ops 2, where I believe you could shoot down a Hellstorm missile when it hasn't spread into its cluster. You could use the trophy system and it would destroy it. The trophy systems is of course an essential for an Anchor. If you're going to be sitting in that spot and camping, basically, a lot of people are going to chuck grenades over you at stuns, and perhaps you have the gun skill, but you don't have the reaction time to get away from the grenades. The trophy systems help you. However, they do sometimes fail, which is why I've got this failsafe. I've got Flak Jacket. It protects me from enemy explosives. If someone throws a stun, then I can just take it. I can lie down, just take some cover. But grenades, it just kills me straight. I can lose the spawns. The team then start to complain, start to struggle. I need to stay alive for as long as I possibly can. So I have Flak Jacket, like I said, as a failsafe, because the trophy systems are not 100% accurate. They can sometimes miss the grenade. They can sometimes just not pick it up. But then I've also got this. I've got Blast Suppressor. One thing that I don't want my enemy to know is for me to be rotating early. I don't want them to know that I'm rotating early. Perhaps they don't look at their minimap as often as I perhaps predict they would. However, I don't want to take that chance. I usually just put on Blast Suppressor and just hold it down. I can just be kind of sneaky so that they don't rotate. I have found that some other players don't use Blast Suppressor, and I can find when they're rotating nice and early. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's your entire class setup right there. I've got the zombies camo on there, but like I said, you can use the BO3 sight. That's what I don't regularly use. I'll mostly use the reflex sight, but that's pretty much the class. I basically use that on every single how to put it? I pretty much use it every time there's not a ban and protect. If there's a ban and protect and they do ban the M8, I will use a different weapon, and that weapon, 9 times out of 10, I'll go for the Man of War. The Man of War is a very powerful weapon. I personally don't like the XR2. Some people have that as their switch over. I personally much prefer the Man of War. It's slow fire rate but accurate. You know, you can't really beat it because it's got such a high damage per bullet sort of range. So I kind of take that as my advantage because of course I'm going to be a long range. Perhaps the slower fire rate helps me out, and like I said, I only use the Man of War if the M8 is unavailable. Now, specialists. Specialists are a little bit different because of course you can use any specialist you like that will get you the Anchor. I'm going to show you my 2 that I'll regularly use. The first one is of course the Tempest. The Tempest is very powerful. Basically it fires an electric shock and it kills the enemy in 1 bullet, and it'll wipe them out. And I use the Tempest especially in like close quarter maps, because if it's in close quarters, it's very likely that the enemy is going to be running down the same sort of lanes as my Tempest is going to be shot. It's very easy to, you know, predict where they're going to come from, so I can fire, you know, a Tempest bullet, hopefully hit someone, and then it can spread. It's kind of a shame it's not like a splash area effect, so I can't just shoot it in the ground and it releases like an electric, I don't know, radius, and it just kills the enemies there and then. I'd much prefer that, but you have to make do with what you have. But like I said, I do say that I do that regularly, use that regularly, and that's just because I play a lot of matches. What I'll use, if I can, on most maps is the Scythe, or specifically the Reaper. The Scythe is the minigun. I find that to be so powerful. It's, I think, 3 shots to kill, and the fire rate it has is just insane. It's such a powerful specialist. Some people use it for their subslurs. I much prefer to use it as an AR Anchor. because I find that long range gunfights are a lot more important to win than a close range. Close range, if you have a good anchor, you can just get in their faces nice and early. You don't have to, you know, do much trouble. You can just sort of hip fire and spray. Whilst long range, you need to be very, very accurate. You have to be laying those shots and not missing. The Scythe really does that for me. I tend, in terms of the Scythe, I'll tend to use it every time I get it. The Tempest, I usually try and save it in case I need it. In this game, you're seeing we were sort of falling behind. I was thinking about using my Tempest, but I realized that, you know, we were sort of pulling ahead, and it wasn't really needed. It was in case they made the comeback. But at long range, you're going to be doing a lot of long range gunfights, funny enough, and that's why sensitivity is important. I personally use 5 and 5. Now, I have scuff paddles, I have scuff grips, and I have phantom control grips. Control freaks even. And the 5 sensitivity works with me, it works with this class. Like the specialist, you can use whatever sensitivity you like. It doesn't matter if you use like 10 sensitivity or 1 sensitivity. But what I ask you to take into consideration is, if you have a really high sensitivity, could you kill someone across the map? If someone was like in this map, for instance, if you're in top red and someone was in top grannies, do you think you'd be able to kill them in a 10 sensitivity when you're looking away? Perhaps you'll snapshot to them, but killing them is completely different. I have a 5 sensitivity because it's not slow, but it's not fast either. It's very controllable. I have 5 and 5. I haven't really played around with a horizontal. I very much played around with a vertical because I find that I'm not really looking up as much normally. You've seen sometimes in this gameplay actually that, you know, the enemy's a little bit too high, and I'm trying to chase them up with my gun, but they're just moving a little bit too high. So perhaps I could move the horizontal to 6 and the keep the vertical. Wait, no, that's wrong. I've gotten the wrong way around. God, I look like an idiot. What I'm trying to say is that when I'm trying to look up, they're sometimes getting too far up, so I'll change the vertical, not the horizontal. I've written it down wrong. God damn it. I'll try and change the vertical to higher just so I can, you know, reach the enemies. But the horizontal, I try to keep pretty low. I find if I have it too high, it's going to be like, it'll be kind of uncontrollable. But that's basically a setup of the AR anchor. If you're out there and you're, you know, wanting to be an anchor and you're looking for the best class, in all honesty, I think this is the best class. You could probably use the Shiva, but I honestly think the Shiva is going to get banned. It's very, very powerful. With one shot to the head with high caliber, it's basically just, it's too overpowered. And most people would say, you know, there's no such thing as an overpowered weapon, or too overpowered, and I beg to differ. It's such a powerful weapon, and it's hard to control. I don't like it being used in games, so I try not to use it, because if I don't use it, it's kind of like the melee in Advanced Warfare. If you bring out Shiva, they're going to bring out Shiva, and then it becomes a Shiva war. But regardless, that's basically the video. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to press the like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be uploading some anchor spots, some tips on how to rotate early. Basically, my channel has just become all about the AR anchor, because that's what I exclusively am in Black Ops 3. Anyway, guys, thanks so much. Let's try that again. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Mr. Kid112, and I'll see you all in the next video.